Welcome everybody to another fast and fun video. It's Rich and Aaron here. This week we're in the M140. We're heading north up the M5, M6 to Performance M in Manchester for
an M Performance LSD. It's finally the day, guys. We're getting an LSD fitted to the car.
Anyone that's followed the channel will know Aaron bought this Shadow Edition M140 4 months ago, probably 5 months, 5 months ago.
5 months, yeah. Standard
format. He's done quite a few things to it. Lowering springs, stance pack. That was Performance M as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Guys.
Scorpion D-Res exhaust. BM3 stage 1 map.
Yeah.
Check out some of the videos. I'll put a link up above onto those videos there. But the one thing the M140 has been crying out for to stop Aaron doing his one-wheeled spins is a rear limited slip diff, and that's why we're on his way up to Manchester. So these guys, for the LSD and full fitment, is how much?
1,800 for the full fit. Don't tell the missus. But yeah, I think it's a real good package actually. It was around 16.95, I think, for the actual rear diff itself, and then fitting on top. But,
so what, they're charging 100 quid for fitting? That's it?
It was 100 or 200, can't remember.
Right,
blocked
okay.
it out, got excited.
Okay.
They offered fitment as well. I was like, yeah.
And I assume this is a flipping relatively straightforward job with a ramp anyway, with a rear LSD.
I imagine they do so many of them. It's just in, out, drive in, drive out jobby.
And the cunning plan that Aaron has got is we're going to keep the old diff.
Yeah.
The open diff.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So come resale time, you've got a couple of options there. You can either sell it with the LSD and it comes with the open diff as a spare, or you put the open diff back on and sell the LSD, because you were saying second-hand LSDs are going for what?
Like 1,200-1,300 quid, regardless of miles, really.
Wow.
I mean, when you can buy a new one for 1,600 quid, it seems a no-brainer to keep the spare just to swap it out.
Yeah.
If it's an hour, 2-hour job.
So unfortunately this video, it's absolutely terrible weather conditions here. We're not going to be able to show you what it's like after, because it's just a boring motorway drive, but we will be bringing a video to you in the coming weeks with the 140, driving it with the LSD on some testing Gloucestershire forest roads, which we'll definitely bring to you in the coming weeks. But for now, it's the long journey north in pouring rain to Manchester.
So there's one thing with this diff that we're getting fitted today. So there's a 500-mile running period, so we won't be able to send it straight away. And I think that's what to do. We've got to change the oil out. And what it is when the diffs are built new, obviously there's shards of metal, because it's all brand new components, that will actually be left in the oil residue.
So is it just a flat 500 miles, or do you have to limit the flipping power going through the LSD?
Yeah, I think so.
We probably need to ask.
We better ask, because if we get it straight out and start sending
we're getting to the first roundabout and Aaron does a power slide.
Hey, but we do have, with this diff, there's a 2-year warranty on it. So,
okay. Well, that makes it even more of a no-brainer when it comes to new buy against flipping.
That's what I mean. That's why we went
against the flipping second hand.
So you got 2-year warranty as well. So,
and there's no counter that tells you actually how far an LSD's done.
Exactly. So
you could say it's only done 1,000 miles, mate, and it could have done bloody 100,000.
But I guess you could prove. Yeah, I guess. But then you could prove photos of the car. There is ways of proving it, I guess. But
well, I don't know. There's ways of forging it.
Oh yeah.
The one thing that gets me with the 140 is, like today, it's 3 hours, pretty much constantly on the motorway. So M5, M6. And ticking along at 60, 70 miles an hour, And in truth, you'd think you were in a 520, wouldn't you? I mean,
Yeah.
it's comfortable, it's quiet, it's refined, it's a nice place to be. But yet, you know, you've got this growling animal under the bonnet, the B58, that can just do insane things and put insane power down. But at the same time, you can just coast along. It's just such a usable daily driver, but can turn into this animal when you want it to be, evenings and weekends. So as we're about an hour and a quarter early, what we've decided to do is take a cheeky little exit off on the M6, and we're just heading a few miles west down to Oulton Park. So we're just going to pop into Oulton, see if there's any track day action, race team days, whatever, down at Oulton Park, just for half an hour before we go across to Manchester to Performance M. And welcome to Oulton Park Circuit. So let's hope it's not a flipping trade fair on and we've got a bit of circuit action. I love the buzz and excitement of a track day. We don't know if it's track or it's a race cars, but there's certainly cars going around the circuit. We're down at, well, between the first and second corner, so just go down there and we'll just go wander down, can't we? So after a cheeky little stop at Oulton Park, it was a good half an hour of that, really. Stop off, see the normal Clios and Megans and M2s, M3s, GTRs, Civic Type Rs, MX-5s. A real good mismatch of cars there. Went to a couple of corners. It's great, and it's just got Aaron and I in the mood to get a couple of track days booked if we can this year. In fact, we were talking about how cheap track days are in the winter, and there's a lot of benefits to doing one in the winter because A, the track day is cheaper, it's less harsh on the brakes if it's wet and cold, and also on tyres. You save a shitload of tyre wear if it's cold, wet track days. Anyway, we are 0.4 miles away from Performance M. Bang on time. Here we go, and let's get this LSD fitted to Aaron's M140i.
Next door.
So you've got, what is it?
Unit,
Awesome.
GTR.
So that's a V-dub, an Audi, so it's a VAG specialist.
That's where I got all my bits from Mark 5.
And Performance M.
Yeah.
Oh, there's got the
look,
Supra.
Forge Motorsports here. Oh, from Gloucester.
Oh, that Supra's quite nice, actually. So here we have arrived. It looks a little bit more upmarket than I was thinking.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
It's in. It's just been fitted. We're about to leave.
We think anyway, because it's under the car, so we're not flipping sure. We're just taking their word for it.
He did say, so a couple of things that Performance M have said. One is there's a running in period with this of about, well, he said 1,000 miles, didn't he?
Yeah.
Limit the power. He said to start off with, for the first few miles, it'll almost feel like a locked diff on slower corners.
Old welded.
Yes.
Welded diff.
So take it slow, take it steady for 1,000 miles, then do an oil change. And Aaron's bought oil.
I've bought oil.
Which it looks a pretty straightforward job to syringe out and syringe back in. So did he say a litre?
1 litre.
Yeah, 1 litre. And then after 1,000 miles, we should be good to go.
We can send it.
We can send it. Yeah, absolutely. So, and these slow corners we've just come through, it feels exactly the same.
Yeah, no different.
So this might be a really, really painstakingly slow 1,000 miles.
Yeah, I can imagine it will be.
But the guys at Performance M, I think big shout out for them.
Oh, hell yeah.
Really good, weren't they? Just informative. And the highlight was, whilst waiting for the car to be ready, for about half an hour, we just talked about Renault Clios and Renault Megans, because both of the guys had them. So we were doing 172, 182, 197, 200 Clios, Megane 250s, comparing in between. I was in my absolute element, and Aaron was sat there in bewilderment that I'm in this BMW M Sport. Yeah, because they know where the hot cars are in regard to Renaults rather than BMWs.
Yeah.
So, no, big shout. And they were really, really helpful. But you've also had the polybush inserts for the rear diff.
Yeah.
Fitted, 150 quid.
150 smackers for a bit of rubber. For
a bit of flipping, not as firm as I, watch out, not as firm as I was expecting. I thought these would be really, really hard polybushed inserts. They weren't. They were quite flexible, weren't they?
We bought road ones. Maybe we should have bought black.
Yes, because yellow are road, aren't they?
Yeah.
And black are track.
Yeah.
So that's it. We've now got a boring 3 hours ahead of us to head south down the M6, M5 back to Gloucestershire, and it may be a little bit longer than a few weeks before we bring the 140 back. But we will do once this 1,000-mile running-in period is done. We've changed the oil. Oh, the other thing you mentioned, once you do the change on the LSD oil, is that don't be alarmed that if you see fragments of wear, metal bits in the oil, that's normal. That's what he said, isn't it?
Apparently, that's normal.
Yeah.
Don't be ringing them up, shouting about it.
Yeah, saying it's broke. That's to be expected.
Yeah.
But that's why it's imperative that you do that oil change and that oil service on the LSD.
They recommended, I guess, like a sump plug for the diff. MMR make a magnetic one which catches all the shit.
Makes sense, that to me.
So I'll probably get one of those.
Yeah. 10 or 20 quid or whatever it is.
Yeah, you might as well get it.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably should have got one straight away, but they didn't recommend it, so maybe that's something they should recommend.
And just on cost then, so that what we said this morning wasn't quite right, was it? The £1,800 was for the LSD.
Yeah.
There was fitting on top of that at 200, was it?
160.
160 for fitting. But because Aaron bought the LSD and didn't get it shipped, he bought it but kept it at Performance M. You saved about 70 quid on postage and package, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've got the old LSD in the boot. Should Aaron want that in the future?
Yeah.
So there we go. That's the day up at Performance M in Manchester. LSD's fitted. It's been a good day. Bit of Oulton Park track day. It was about 3-4 hours we had to wait at Performance M, and we just got an Uber to Trafford Centre to get some lunch and then came back. So, yeah, good day. Big thanks to Aaron. Thank you to you guys. Keep watching, keep subscribing, keep giving me the thumbs up. Next week for another video. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.